quarantine beard right there. Welcome to our new video series, Form Fix with JK Conditioning. Hey guys, John here from JK Conditioning, and I'm proud to share with you our first episode in our Form Fix video series. This is a new video series that we're going to start where we're going to feature your videos and have a voiceover where we can make recommendations on how you can fix your technique. If you want to be featured in a future Form Fix video, you can email your exercises to formfix@jkconditioning.com. It helps if you can get a full view of your body and the weight that you're using, and either a 45-degree view from the front or the back, so that we can kind of get a sense of what your form looks like from the front and also from the back. I'm really excited to get this video series under... Okay, that's enough talking. All right, yeah, that's enough talking. Let's get to the first exercise. So the first exercise here is a dumbbell squat. So this is from Lisa. She's from Saskatoon. And okay, so let's play this through a couple times. So it's a pretty typical squat for someone who hasn't had direct coaching from a coach. So what I would change, so if you look at the range, so her back actually looks fairly straight here. She has moved through the hips correctly. It looks like the ankles might be stiff here. The knees kind of don't really travel too far forward, and from this view it's hard to tell, but it might look like her knees are kind of caving in here a little bit. So what I would suggest is I would have her stand a little bit wider, putting her feet a little bit wider than hip width apart, maybe having a heel under each shoulder. And what I would do is, instead of holding the weights down beside her body like this, because what that kind of looks like is like it's a trap bar deadlift. But if we want to make this a true squat, I would have her front load those dumbbells, so holding them here in front of the shoulders, and that'll allow her torso to stay a little taller. So what we can do first is to have her stand with her feet shoulder width apart and see what her range of motion looks like with the weights in front of her shoulders. And if it still looks a little bit restricted like it does in this video, then I would suggest that she elevate her heels by 1 inch to 1.5 inches. And I would also suggest that she turn her feet out maybe up to 5 degrees. And that'll allow the hips to open up so that she can sit a little bit lower and again keep her torso a little taller. The elevated heel will bypass any ankle mobility restrictions. But if she wants to stand with her feet hip width apart, which she can when she does a squat, but if we want to make this type of squat look a little bit better, I would get her to stand on a slant board and elevate her heels about 4 inches. So there you go, Lisa. Hope that helps. What do we got next? So we have a sumo deadlift from Mike from CBS, Newfoundland. So Mike is actually a client of ours at JK Conditioning. Mike is actually a client of ours at JK Conditioning. Can't even say my business name. Anyways, so we have a 1RM attempt at 440. So that looked pretty good. So if we go back and watch it again. So we're setting up. So if we go a little bit slower once we set things up. Okay, so right here. So the back looks fairly good. The knees are out. So we got a sumo deadlift. So the moment that he applies force, you can see that the torso moves up a bit. I believe this is a stiff bar too. It's not a deadlift bar, so you're not going to see a lot of flex in the bar. Okay, so the bar broke the ground there. So if we go back, try that again. Not too bad, actually. I like this lift. If there's anything that I would suggest to fix it, I would suggest that Mike activates his lats a little bit more and he pulls that bar into his body a little bit tighter. His upper back is slightly rounded, but that's not really a big concern for deadlifting. We want to make sure that the lumbar spine is flat and straight. It's okay to have the upper back slightly rounded, but to kind of make this, now it's always tough to critique a 1RM lift because the weight obviously forces us into positions that we don't want to go into. But if we can make any critique on this, it's that I would get Mike to activate his abs and his lats a little bit better, and then have him, let's see, so the bar doesn't leave the ground until his body's moving up a bit, about there. So you can see once the bar lifts off the ground, he could be maybe slightly flatter through the mid back. It does look like his lumbar back is flat. So his hips don't shoot up very high upon initiation of the lift, which tells us that his hips are probably in the right spot, which is good. So yeah, if there's anything that we can do to suggest to Mike here, it would be to activate his lats and his abs a little bit tighter, and then maybe clean up the position that once the bar leaves the ground, that he is in that right position, rather than his body moving to that position and then having the bar break off the ground. All in all, it was a pretty good lift, Mike. All right, lastly, we have a Romanian deadlift from Morgan in Halifax. Okay, so simple Romanian deadlift. So Romanian deadlift is an exercise that starts in front of your hips, and then you bow, and then the weight will go just maybe below the knee or halfway down the shin, and then you would stand up. So it's a great exercise for the hamstrings, glutes, and lower back. But what we're missing here for Morgan is a nice hinge at the hip. So if you look at her lower back, so right here, it appears that each rep is inconsistent with her range of motion and how she's moving through her hip joint to get down into the bottom of the Romanian deadlift. So if you look at her lower back, it's not a good, it changes shape with each rep. So if I play this for you again, you can see that her lower back and her mid back change. She has the idea that she should bow through her hips, but it's not as clean as I'd like it to be. So what I would do is I would suggest, so they're falling backwards on the heels there. So what I would suggest is, so I like how the knees are soft in this demo here, but I would get her to put one hand on her lower back and one hand on her stomach. And then I would get her to practice bowing without the weight, so that she can push her hips back, push her tailbone out, and then actually feel more tension through the hamstrings at the bottom of the hinge, because it appears that she's not getting into those muscles at the bottom. So what she needs to do to get a little bit more out of this exercise is bow closer to 90 degrees and feel a little bit more hamstring tension at the bottom. So anyways, I would start with her in front of a wall. I'd get her to bow so that she pushes her butt back towards the wall, and then I would get her to stand and squeeze her glutes at the top. And then I would also express the concept of pushing your chest out over your feet, and that'll prevent you from falling backwards like she is in the snapshot on the video here, on the screen here right now. So if we go back again, we'll have another look. So yeah, a little bit of too much rounding in the back. I'd practice more hinging through the hips. The knees are soft, which is good. So yeah, so that's it. Just a little bit better of a hinge through the hips and more awareness of moving through the hip joint, and then not letting the spine shape change. All right, guys, simple as that. There is our first episode of Form Fix with JK Conditioning. If you want to be featured again in our next episode of Form Fix with JK Conditioning, you can email your videos to formfix@jkconditioning.com. And if this is your first time here, we make videos to improve your workouts. So find us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date with all our latest fitness videos. Thanks for watching today, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.